Welcome back, and as was mentioned earlier in the show, our final segment is going to be a conversation with the Customs Department, and we're talking about the celebration of World Customs Day. Joining me for this conversation, we have Rigel Bowen, who is the acting IT admin. We have Raquel Wade, who is the supervisor of the Risk Management Unit, and Ewan Gillett, the assistant controller. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining me.
Thank you, too.
Okay, thank you for having us.
So this is an opportunity, obviously, for the Customs Department to come out and to speak of some of the work that you do in celebration of World Customs Day. So let's start off, Ewan, to talk a bit about the work of the Customs Department and just how things have been progressing there.
Thanks. Over the years, and especially recently, we have embarked on having traders, importers, getting their goods quicker, reasonable time. And what it has realized is an increase in revenue collection, because there's a fast turnaround of goods being delivered directly to the shelves, to the consumers. This was brought about by the Asikuda World program that came on stream some years ago. And no longer do we have the long room process where brokers or in-house personnel for the big importing businesses had to submit their entry. And it was manually being checked for all the processes and procedures and relevant documents and see that the appropriate duties were being paid. Everything now is done electronically. Even the payment is done electronically through the banks. What this has brought about is quicker turnaround time. There are instances where goods, containers come off the ship, placed in the port yard, or sometimes when it's taken off the tow hill from the port authority, it's placed right on a flatbed of the trucker or the courier, and the documents is already processed. It's brought out the compound. It goes to the importer's warehouse.
Yeah.
Because of the process we have in place, many a times the information is already stored. They're only waiting on documents, relevant documents, and the rotation number to be inserted, and the goods will go.
Yeah.
We have what is relevant to the system is the risk management unit and the post-audit unit. The risk management deals with criteria, post-audit looks at post, as it is known, all the declaration.
Yeah.
So you don't have any hang-up time. You get your goods, then if any discrepancies are found, then you're called in and you settle the dispute.
Yeah. Now this shift, and this is one we're seeing in many government departments, and really is, and even in private institutions like the Port of Belize, going digital obviously decreases the amount of time that people had to wait to get their goods. What has been some of the challenges that you faced in moving from a manual system to completely digital?
Sweet.
Right, anything?
It's just a matter of the mindset. We have been used to the old manual way for so long, you know, moving on to something, for example, like the pre-1995 days. The entire process was completely manual, completely. And even with the advent of the previous and older Asikuda 2.3 version, which was upgraded to
Which is the software that you all use?
Yes.
Okay.
Even with the advent of that in 1995, it became a dual process where you're, on the one hand, you're inputting data in a system, and on the other hand, you're still doing manual checks. So it didn't really alleviate the problem as expeditiously as they imagined. But with Asikuda World now, it's we didn't even go to any of the versions in between. We went straight from the jalopy to the convertible, and it's completely automated, where the interaction with customs is dramatically decreased. So the mindset is the thing that is the most difficult to turn.
Yeah.
To get it
But when you're talking about cutting down time, that's obviously welcomed on one end, that those who need to receive their goods, right?
In addition to what Rigel is saying, one of the main benefits of a secure world was to be more efficient, to be more effective on the end of customs, and to also facilitate trade as speedy as possible, but at the same time having the controls in place to ensure that, you know, whatever check and balance needs to be there is there. With a secure world, the importer is to benefit from costs. They should see a decrease in the cost of getting their goods from customs to their shelf. With a secure world, as Mr. Gillett said, we had created 2 additional departments, that is the risk management department and the post-audit department. Basically, the risk management department, it is not something new to customs, but it's just doing things in a more systematical way. We have a process in place that we go by. We look at the risks that are whether potential or risk that has been posed to the department in the past, and we try to find ways to either eliminate these risks or to minimize them, and to also lessen the impact upon either the department or the public. Risk management is something that even you would do it at home. Let's say you're at home, you didn't have time to clean the house, and you get a call, somebody is coming over to visit you. So you start looking around like, okay, I can't have them see this mess. So where would I clean? Where would they go? They're probably going to the restroom, they'll go into the dining area. So you know what? I'll just take all these mess and probably throw them in a room until they leave, then I will straighten up things. So that is risk management on a day-to-day basis. For customs now, we identify whatever potential risk that is there. We analyze those risks, and then we create measures, put measures in place, building risk criteria. The risk criteria are then put in the system, and the system now, with a secure world, the system can now trigger selectivity, whereas in the past, it was left upon to the chief examiner to say, all right, this one will be checked. This one, we'll have minimal checks on this one. Now, we take away that discretion from the officers, and we leave it up to the system now. The system decides who will be checked.
Is it done at random or based on certain criteria?
Yes, it is based, we have both.
Okay.
It is based on the criteria, and we also have leverage for random selectivity.
Okay.
So if a declaration is large and you don't have a criteria hit per se for that declaration, it still goes through a random system. So imagine now that customs, the way how customs used to operate is that we used to do 100% physical check. Now imagine now telling people or officers that, you know what, we're changing the way customs do business. We realize, and not us, because it didn't initiate it from Belize, it was something that came from UNCTAD, and together with the WCO, they realized that, you know what, the nature of customs is changing, business is increasing, globalized trade has boomed, and it will continue to boom. So they look at it that, you know what, customs need to come up with something that we can work less harder, but still have the same effect as we want it. So then they decide, you know what, we'll have this as a secure world, and we'll put in there modules for risk management, we'll put modules for post-audit. So based on the criteria now, selectivity is done.
Now, let me just get in here, because I think the concern people will have, especially going from a system where you know there were checks done on each, let's say we're talking about containers coming in at the port, and we've seen issues with drugs. There are many different illicit activities that people can get involved in. So how does this software and the new digital system that we roll out, how does it ensure that we aren't encouraging more illicit activities? Where are the checks and balances? I know you have your random, and you have, I'm sure there's a process in the software that probably has triggers, but where is the human interaction or the original checks and balances?
Okay, the human interaction comes in now where the criteria are built based on historical data or based on experiences of officers. So we look at, and we also keep informed with what is happening abroad. So the system is, the way how the system acts is that we know the history of most of these importers. We know who basically will do what and to what extent. We know where, all right, we might have to look at goods coming from China. We might have to look at goods coming from Dubai. We might have to look at goods coming from different regions because different region might pose different threats. So that is the way how the human resource is integrated in the system now. Based on historical data, based on experience, we build criteria to trigger, okay, if we know importer X might pose a certain risk, then based on that risk, we might either do a full documentary check or we might do a physical examination. Once a physical examination is needed, then we go into detail check.
Yeah.
Additionally, we have the enforcement unit who, based on tips, based on information, based on certain criteria from the region or the type of goods and the individual, even if the container, the shipment is to get green, which means everything is in order and it goes without any inspection, they reserve the right to have that container inspected at the Queensbond shed to verify if any illicit items may be contained within, or some wrong has been taking place with the shipment with respect of classification, description, and those sorts of things. Okay, but further on, one of the features of this whole Asikuda is a preferred trader, which was introduced some 10 months ago, and a follow-up done on it just prior to in November of last year, and we have about 20 or 25 importers, business house included in there, where mainly the shipment gets green, and they go because they have to send this. It's a whole process they had to go on through before they were allowed to become one of the preferred traders. It has shown that the graph has shown, the information has shown, the data has shown increase in revenue collection. In fact, as it is right now, we are enjoying at least somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% over the target figure for revenue collection monthly.
So with an automated system, the revenue is almost is automated as well. No, once you know what the goods are, you know the duties, and you can proceed from that.
Daily we know. But by the next morning or the same evening, but definitely by next morning we know how much money has been collected countrywide. Countrywide.
So let's talk about the celebration. Now, as you pointed out earlier, this is not just a Belize context. It's not just Belize trying to catch up with technology, as we see so often. It is really a synchronization of systems all over the world as well. So let's talk about World Customs Day and your specific focus on it. The theme is digital customs, progressive engagement, right?
Okay, just to touch on what you said just now, Belize trying to catch up with technology. You know, saying that we used to feel the same way until we have interaction now with the region, until we go on training regionally, then we come back home, or when we are there, where we appreciate what we have here and where we've been. Because it would be surprising to know that Belize has still progressed technological-wise and customs administration-wise far way ahead of a lot of these regions. For example, what Rigel spoke about paying at the bank, you can sit at home and you can clear a declaration and make payments for a declaration right from home. Belize has been, I think, still the only country who has grasped that.
With online banking.
Yes, we're the only country in the region who is doing that right now. So the little things like that makes you appreciative of what we have here. But to move forward to the Customs Day, like as you said before, the theme for this Customs year is progressive customs, Digital Customs Progressive Engagement.
Yeah.
Digital Customs Progressive Engagement. This basically is just showing the public where we have, how we have moved progressively over the years to where we are now. So today we're having a walkthrough at the Customs Department. We'd like to take this opportunity to invite the public to come and experience and to see and to let us walk you through from the manual stage all the way up to where we're at, and to give you a hint as what customs will bring for the future.
And what do you think are some of the interesting factors, portions of this walkthrough that people would be interested in?
Well, I believe that people will be interested in looking at, especially the public, to look at where customs came from your declaration taking a week, sometimes 2-3 weeks for you to receive your goods. And now with our new system, it's like within hours. You receive your goods. We came from where you had to sit back and you wait until customs go through everything, to the point as once you're done paying, your entry is clear, you automatically go through the gate with your goods without customs even touching your goods. So that is where we are now.
Now, not everybody has contact with the Customs Department if they're not importers, or if they're not involved in trade or have regular shipments coming in. For your everyday people, they meet customs at perhaps border points or entering into the country, occasional checkpoints. I know that are done sometimes in conjunction with other government entities. What would you like, especially on World Customs Day, for the general public to know, those who don't interact with you as often, about being able to understand the work of the department?
We would like to get across to them that we are trade facilitators, and the system is user-friendly. And there's one feature within it that we don't enforce much, but anyone, if they choose, can process a declaration, but there's a fine included in it if you make mistakes. And hence where they are broke a house. But like on a day like today, we'd like to get across to the public what we're about and what we intend to become. You know, the image as custom has changed over the years, and as it is seen, and most of all, to have it out there known that we are trade facilitators, because that's what the world has evolved into. There's no longer the big stick custom, the big hammer customs. You know.
Or the guessing game.
And now, a lot of that has been taken out. You know, so basically that was, to some great extent, what we like to feature today.
And as you pointed out, with the automated system now, you're up 20%, was it 20% you said, in revenue?
Somewhere around 20% in the target figure.
Okay, and like Mr. Gillett said, the 20% increase did not only came from the automation, but we're also seeing that increase with the introduction. Right now, the program is just a pilot program, but with the introduction of the voluntary compliance program, this program is a new program that Customs had adapted. We started this pilot program in May of last year. We're hoping to complete the pilot aspect of it early.
That's the one with your importers?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a program whereby we have what we call the voluntary compliance program. This program is geared towards giving the importer the benefit of the doubt. Now, like I said, based on past experience and based on present experience, we had chose I think it's like 30 importers to be a part of this pilot. Now, the benefits of the program is that we give you the benefit of the doubt that once your goods is clear with no customs intervention, that you will examine your goods at your warehouse. If there's any discrepancy, you will make voluntary. They have to keep in mind that it's voluntary. Customs will not come and check or to give you the container and then we still come and check to see. We are hoping that you will, as the importer, will hold up your end of the bargain. You will see a discrepancy and you'll voluntarily come back to Customs and say, you know what, Customs, we found that these goods were overlanding, meaning that we didn't make payments on these goods because maybe we were not expecting them on the shipment, or we had a classification error. And you might smile and say,
Hold on. And I will say it because everybody's at home. Nobody's going to do that if you sneak one by customs.
That's what we thought in the beginning also. And even when we introduced it to customs personnel, they was like, really? Who is going to do that? You know, who is going to come back and say, hey, customs, I owe you some more money?
But it has happened.
But it has happened. And surprisingly,
what is the benefit? There has to be a benefit for the importers by being able to do that. Is it just keeping the status that they have?
No, the benefits of the importer, like I said, is that the program guarantees you 80% green lane. The green lane means that no customs intervention, straight through. You also, things that the regular importer would get fined for, maybe a wrong classification or anything system-wise that has to be fixed in the system, these importers benefit from not being levied the penalties or the fine for that.
Bottom line.
And benefits like
Bottom
that.
line, it's a quicker clearance time.
Yeah.
Fast, much
we considered
most want in the trade. Yeah.
We consider these importers to pose lower risk, so therefore we embark on not wasting any time on that and to more focus our scarce resource on the people who really needs, to have control and to pose higher risk.
And as you said, you have had from your voluntary compliance program, people who come back and say, I owe you more money.
Yes,
and we have had companies who came in with thousands of dollars owing to us, 13,000, 15, even 20,000 disclosure. And officers are like, wow, people actually are coming in, But it's up to us to continue to encourage them to be compliant. And that is the way customs is going now, to a more compliant base.
Rather than punitive.
Yes, so we encourage the importers and we encourage businesses to try to be more compliant, to move towards that compliancy, so that it doesn't only speed up your process, but it also speed up our process.
And as you point out, you aim for low-risk importers for your program in the beginning, those who are more than likely going to be more honest with you.
Yes.
Because what that has done, if they did not declare and come and pay their additional duties, then they will have problems with the foreign exchange and the central bank. I have here a public relation hotline number, 602-7783.
Okay.
602-7783.
And people can call in to tell you about
questions, queries, any problems, any issues.
Yeah. Maybe they had some kind of interaction with customs and they felt that, you know what, I don't believe that I have been dealt with fairly. Maybe you figure that I had spoken to the officer in charge where the situation had occurred, but you know what, I think that maybe I still need to lodge a complaint, or I still need to find out if I was in line or if I was not in line. Maybe somebody wants to go across the border and want to know, you know what can I bring, what can I not bring? Then you can use this number to do that.
And for also to report wrongs, illicit or illegal activities or contraband taking place.
Suspect activities, All right, and that hotline again is?
602-7783.
So people can call. I like that they can call because sometimes people want to know the procedure before they leave the country to know exactly what they can do or if they're bringing in any goods as well.
And we also encourage them to use the officers at the border points. You're going across Chetamal and you figure, you know what, I think I want, you already know or have an idea what you want to purchase. So if you want to know that it's okay for you to bring and you won't have any problems coming back across, you can always stop into the station, speak to the officers there and find out from them, is it okay for me to bring this? Because sometimes we do agency duties, and when we tell you you can't bring this or we can't bring that, it's either we're protecting the market or we're doing agency duties for for agriculture,
Yeah.
for health purposes, and people don't understand this sometimes. Sometimes they look at it as, why I can't bring my fruits? Why I can't bring a piece of meat? Why I can't do
We
this?
had Baha explain the Pollo Brujo at the
Okay.
north, all right? So
Yeah.
we've cleared that one up for
Yeah.
you already with the threat of avian
Yes.
flu. But yes, sometimes it seems very stringent
Yeah.
to the people passing through, but they don't necessarily know that you are doing what you need to do
Yes.
in conjunction with other
Yes.
agencies. So talking about your celebration today, what time can people come in for your open house and be able to see?
Okay, we're having official open ceremony at 9:30 this morning. Immediately following the ceremony, we're going to open the doors to the public. This will be around 10:30
Okay.
or so, and it will remain open up until closing time at 5. So we're again inviting the public to come on through. You might have a question, a query.
Where is this?
It at the customs headquarters back at the
Loyola.
Port Loyola.
All right, great.
And we won't only display the digital aspect of customs and its progression, we're also going to have people there to sensitize you about the regular duties and responsibilities of customs.
All right.
So you'll have the investigation unit, you'll have a section there to tell you what you can't, what you cannot bring, and you might have an issue that you want to clear up, so this is the opportunity for you to do that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us this morning and for talking about the new systems you have in place, and of course the invitation for people to learn more about the Customs Department.
Thank you also
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
And that hotline, so we can call with our questions or concerns,
Yes.
right?
602-7783.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and take that final break. When we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.